Last night, that city, the city of Lviv, was hit by Russian missiles, really a first so close to the city. Today, you know, we also mentioned that huge rally Vladimir Putin held in Moscow, marking the 8th anniversary. This is what he was celebrating, of the annexation of Crimea. That is the territory that was part of Ukraine that in 2014 Russian forces seized, without a shot fired, I should say. So let's turn now for more on this to ABC News contributor and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, Colonel Steve Gagnon. Good to see you, Steve. And I want to talk about Putin here. First, this rally, you know, there are reports that some of the people who were there told reporters that they'd been forced to go there by their bosses. Others didn't want to be photographed. And some said that they were told there would just be a concert. It feels like, as a leader, he is becoming Brezhnev or Khrushchev or something like he's literally turning the clock back in the crazy Soviet style. Am I overstating that?
No, or like Kim Jong-un or Kim Il-sung or any of the other Stalinist dictators that we know and have seen operating around the world. So Terry, this is sort of the old Stalinist play. It wasn't an invite. You will be there and you will wave the flag. You will check your box and then you can go home. And in fact, we saw reports of people who showed up, checked the box, said, "Hey, I showed up," and then immediately left the. But I think one of the things to take away from it, I mean, it's obviously designed for domestic political consumption. Nobody outside of Russia believes that that was anything but a staged rally. So I think one of the things we need to think about is, what did Mr. Putin say? And the thing that I think was most interesting to me, at least, was he talked about the Donbass and taking back the Donbass. So he didn't talk about the demands of the denazification as much. He didn't talk about what he thinks the Ukrainians need to do in terms of staying away from the EU or from NATO. So his demands and the things he focused on were much more limited and weren't the same sort of extreme demands that we know are being presented at the negotiating table with the Ukrainians.
That's very interesting, because he has talked about genocide in the past, saying that Russian speakers were the victims of genocide and the denazification of a country that's run by a Jewish president. And yet, it seems, once again, if I could just press the subject, his language is getting more extreme in some ways. He spoke the other day and he talked about how united Russia is. He said that today at the rally as well. He said all the people who have villas in Miami and eat oysters and foie gras and are comfortable with gender norms, they aren't really Russian. We spit them out like midges in our mouth. We spit them out in the dirt. Is he stable?
I think he's stable. He's rational, but it's how he perceives opportunity, it's how he perceives risk. We've got to be careful not to mirror image our views in the West or even outside of Russia. How he sees things is very, very different, and he doesn't really care about what the world opinion of him or Russia is. He cares about hanging on to power. So, you know, the idea that how can he not abide by 21st century norms, if you go back to the night that he declared war in Ukraine, that speech was extraordinary. He trashed Lenin, he trashed Stalin, he poo-pooed communism. In his mind, the world sort of came off the rails in, say, October of 1917, when the end of the Russian Empire came. What he really wants is to reassert the Russian Empire, and that includes Belarus, that includes Ukraine, and that is part of the arc of that empire that he wants to reestablish. So think of it sort of as a early 20th century, late 19th century view that certainly is at odds with our 21st century perspective.
So let's talk about the 21st century perspective, Steve, because we took a deep dive today into the number of Russians that are actually leaving. They don't agree with what Putin is doing. But at the same time, we talk about Russia under Putin's leadership and how he still seems to have this, you know, it's very surreally disconnected from the 21st century, but he does have power over so many people. Is this different now than what we've seen in the past? Are we seeing more people sort of get it, wade through the propaganda and say, that's it, we're out of here? Do you find this time different now than previously?
I think it's a progression that we see that you could sort of apply to lots of authoritarian figures. As they go along, it's less about how do they improve their position within their country, how do they improve their country, and more towards how do they solidify the power that they have and their longevity. So over a number of years, at least the past 10, 15 years, Putin has turned really his leadership and his role into a kleptocracy. And so all those people that he was poo-pooing in the rally today about eating foie gras and having yachts, those are all his oligarchs. Those are the people he basically owns and have supported him by really instituting capitalism into an authoritarian state. Russia isn't a communist state anymore. It's sort of a controlled economy, but it is a kleptocracy in the sense that everybody gets a cut, and Putin makes sure that those who get a cut remain as sort of his vassals and people that are beholden to him in every way.
Steve Ganyard, always great to have your insight. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Kara.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.